Hello, friends. Let me make sure my, yeah, Twitch is working. Alright, so we're gonna keep going with flowers. I'm sorry I haven't been reading all of these. Health-wise, it's just been crazy for me, and it's really hard for me to read so much text. But I'm gonna try to start reading all the text again. And then if I need to, like, take little breaks in between. So, I guess let's keep going. See what's gonna happen. I'm engulfed by dim lighting and the smell of old books. I whisper at last. I finished airing out some musty old books and lay them neatly on the desk as Mayuri echoes my sentiments. The ballet test had been before lunch. I finished airing out some musty old books and laid them neatly on the desk as Mayuri echoes my sentiments. Although... the test was administered in alphabetical order. Honestly speaking, since no one had failed the test up until my turn, I felt all the more pressure, since I might end up being the first to fail. Perhaps because of the incident at the tea party, her expression during the test was terrifying. April 13th, the Sasaki twins' birthday. Rika was the one who decided to have the party, but... I don't like to say it, but it was because of the Sasaki twins spilling the beans that she'd come under suspicion at the last tea party. So I don't know how she'll feel about celebrating with the Sasakis. Snacks! Snacks sound so good. Hearing her chatter excitedly about cakes and cookies takes a light load off my shoulders. I wonder why she wears like a black hood but like a white uniform. That's really odd. She notices the two library books Sister Dahlia is holding. She goes to the far shelf where the books by foreign authors donated to the library are. She says. Somehow I feel my motivation drain a bit.
ああ、もしかして嵐が丘とかですか？いいえ、違うけど。
Mayuri's gaze lands on me, but just for a second.
そうですか。私も借りようかなって思っていたんですけど、貸し出し中だったのでもしかしてと思って。
It seems she'll keep her lips sealed concerning the missing books.
最近寄贈されたばかりだからあると思ったのだけど、残念ね。
最近ってここにある本みんな古いと思ったんですけど、寄贈とかってよくあるんですか？
聖書の授業を教えている先生が本好きで読み終わった近代小説を寄贈してくれているのよ。
その棚の英字の近代小説ですか？
そう、さっき高坂さんが言った嵐が丘もその先生が寄贈なさったのよ。
Mayuri folds her arms and nods, humming to herself.
何かしら。
その先生が借りようとした小説って。ああ、それちょっと知りたいよね。
Though I have a hard time with Sister Basquiat, I can't help but ask as a fellow book lover. She looks a bit embarrassed as she raises a hand to her cheek.
多分二人とも知っているんじゃないかしら。
Oh, the Chronicles of Narnia.
映画にもなったし、ナルニア国物語というのだけど。
I actually have the whole series of that, the whole book series, but I haven't had the time to read them yet. I nod when I hear the title, thinking how the choice is just like Sister Basquiat.
白羽さん意外じゃないの？ダリア先生って近代小説といってももっと昔の。違うの。それなんだけど。
I'm not surprised since if it's what I'd imagine, I'd turn to Sister Basquiat directly. Hi, Note! I haven't seen you in forever. How are you?
原本が寄贈されたということで借りに来られたのではないですか？
Mayuri's eyebrows push together in confusion at my comment. In contrast, Sister Basquiat breaks into a smile and clasps her hands together in front of her chest.
そうなの。白羽さんは知っているのね。
She asks back. It seems my guess was right after all.
どういうこと？
I'm okay. I'm a little stressed, and tired, but trying to work things out, I guess. I just recently got back into writing again after like a super long hiatus, and I'm gonna try to also get back into a reading schedule, but it's just hard for me to like do too many tasks, especially now that I'm back to work and I'm trying to like, you know, take care of my health too. Like it's really been difficult for me. And I'm also streaming too, so like trying to juggle so many things, but maybe soon I can get back into a consistent reading schedule and I can get through the books that are towering literally in my closet. So the answer is I'm okay. And I'm glad you're good because I miss seeing you around in the stream chat.
ナルニア国物語は映画や日本語に訳したものはだいぶそがれて描かれていたけど、実際はかなり保守的なキリスト教的世界観に基づいて書かれたものなの。文中で明らかにイスラム教を敵視した文言があったり。
I glanced nervously at Sister Basquiat. My next words are about a very sensitive topic in modern Christianity.
女性に対して偏見を持った記述もある。わからないな。なんで保守的だと女性に対して偏見があるんだい？だってシスターだっているじゃないか。
そうね。もっともの質問だわ。それは次の聖書の時間で議題にしましょう。
It's a good thing to talk about. She gently sidesteps Mayuri's question and turns to me. Yeah, I'm trying to take my time and figure out a plan, like, that works for me, but it's been very, very difficult. Yeah, see, my streaming schedule's been all over the place, because, like, when I wasn't working, I set my streaming schedule for, you know, 5 p.m., because that's in the afternoon, so most people can, actually watch it, but, like, because of time, you know, time zones and stuff, sometimes it's too late for some people, sometimes it's too early for other people, so it's like, I don't know. But because of my work schedule, like, I keep getting scheduled to close, so I've been streaming in the morning, and I'd like to have a, you know, consistent streaming schedule, so I've just made, like, all my time slots, like, in the morning, my time, so I can know when I'm gonna be streaming and at what time, you know? But I know everyone's schedule is different. I can't, like, cater to, like, everybody. That would just be impossible. But I'm trying to do what works for me and hoping that everyone else can, you know, come by when they can. Additionally, right-wing Christians in America have tried to use the text politically. I think of bringing up Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, but decided it's not something to say in front of the sister and swallow my words. That's another one, too. Lord of the Rings is, like, a lot of people, I don't really see it that way. I love Lord of the Rings, but it's, heavily, a lot of people consider it a heavy, like, has a heavy Christian, like, plot, I guess, if you think about it with the religion. Yeah. I have always wanted to read it, though. So I will get to it eventually. She bows, places the book she is returning on the table, then exits the library gracefully. Oh, I didn't mean to cut her off. I'm sorry. I just read faster than they can talk, I guess. She isn't wrong about that. Feeling my face growing hot, I mutter in agreement. Which is why, like, I kind of decided this morning, like, and I felt bad. Because I read so fast, like, I feel like everyone else probably, unless I speak most of the words out loud, most people can't, like, catch up. I have also seen the movie. A few times, actually. But yeah, apparently the movie is completely different. It's a good movie, though. Hi, Astro. How are you? Yeah, this is a visual novel. It's actually a series. There's 4 of them, and 3 of them have been brought to Steam now. The 3rd one I do not own yet, but I'm going to own as soon as I can get the money. And the 4th one is not on Steam yet, but hopefully by the time I get there, I will, it will be on Steam. What? Why did the music stop? Something about my own words jump out at me. There's something that doesn't quite fit right. Also, if the game volume's too low or too high, let me know. Mayuri is looking a little spooked.
そう、幽霊がいたんだわ。
The word has a different implication to me.
練習中に話した言葉。
And the key phrase hidden in the story.
すみません、私出かける場所ができました。
With a quick bow, I turn and walk away, my footsteps echoing off the wooden floor after the ghost. Let me see. Okay. Is that volume a little better for you? Oh wow, 2 years? Damn, that's a long time. Okay. No problem. I've been kind of juggling with the audio, because certain games are a bit, you know, louder than others, so I just kind of have to, like, figure out what works for everybody when I'm streaming. Autumne was released a little less than a year ago. Okay. Well, the last one's already been released, it's just, not been given to Steam yet. Like, it exists. With a quick bow, I turn and walk away, my footsteps echoing off the wooden floor after the ghosts. Oh, they're doing the translation. Okay, I gotcha. That's what takes it so long, is they have to translate the whole text, which is a lot. Okay, so maybe by the end of the year, we'll get the winter one. Maybe. I leave the campus. I take a shortcut through the forest. Also, hi, Jamina. I don't think I've ever seen you in chat, but hi. Welcome to stream. Then I arrive at the dormitory where the ghost resides. Ooh, that's pretty. It's a pretty-ass house. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The same words we say in our morning prayer, I think. For a long time in Christianity, women were treated as if they did not exist. Father and son, not a woman included.
含まれない女性。
Now I think of the words Mayuri said to me during ballet practice. I've been hung up on the word roughly. Why had Mayuri, who was always so clear about things, suddenly used such a vague word? As I walk along, I pay attention to the numbers written on the doors.
私の考えが確かなら。
My feet stop at the door with no number. I knock on the door and a small but audible voice whispers, "Come in." With the screeching of wheels, wheels squeak.
やあ、ようやく見つけてくれたんだね。
New character! Even though I'd been so worked up. Now that she's here in front of me, my resentment dissipates completely.
どうしたんだい？ずいぶんと変わった生き物を見るような目で見るじゃない
That
か。
is a gorgeous voice actor, by the way. Another squeak. This classmate, who is not even supposed to exist, turns her wheelchair toward me and looks at me with wide eyes, as though trying to figure out if this mouse is even worth toying with.
彼女が
Her short hair and big eyes give her almost a cat-like look. But more importantly,
彼女は私と似ている気がする。
there is an air of loneliness around the girl in the wheelchair, just like me. Demeanor that seems older, like she's given up on everything. It's looking at my reflection. Any anger I had is now gone, and all that remains is a sense of duty.
それで何の用？私を殴りにでも来たの？
She asks, narrowing her cat-like eyes craftily. Overwhelmed, I shake my head.
そんな野蛮なことはしないわ。私があなたにしてほしいことは一つだけよ。
お友達への誤解を解いてほしいってことだろ？
I nod, surprised by her forward way of speaking. She gazes at me with teasing eyes, inspecting me from head to toe as though searching for a weakness.
構わない。誤解を解いてもいいって言ったのさ。
From her demeanor, I hadn't expected her to accept. I pressed forward elatedly.
でも一つだけゲームをしてもらう。
She returns to her mean cat face and raises her index finger.
ゲーム早く行かないとみんなの前で話してもらわなくちゃ意味が。
すぐ済む簡単なゲームさ。私を見つけたのがこちらの意図するものか、それとも偶然なのか知りたいだけでね。ゲームの内容は
She puts her fingers to her lips.
私の名前を当てること。単純だろ?
The corner of her lips twists into a smirk as I search my memory for a clue. Ooh, that's really pretty art right there. Earlier, Sister Basquiat had shown me the class roster.
いや、名簿には24人目の名前は記載されてなかった。
The only thing I learned was that there were not 23 students but 24. That's of no use. The books that were on Rika's bed are the reason I am here now. I've taken a step further and consider the 4 books that had been on top of the pile. Wuthering Heights, The Gospel of Judas, Finding Your Family Crest, and The Life of Mary Magdalene. I can figure it out from these titles. Among these books, it was Wuthering Heights that brought me here. So that is where I will start. Why would she have put the books she took from the library on Rika's bed in the first place? Perhaps they're hiding another secret. Why did she put the books on Rika's bed? She left them on the bed she could reach. Because she's in a wheelchair, so she couldn't reach a taller bed. Now the meaning of those books on the bed. The name of the girl in the wheelchair is hidden within one of them. If my guess is right, the book in which my name is hidden is The Gospel of Judas. And so her name would be hidden in... What book would the girl in the wheelchair's name be hidden in? Wuthering Heights. She said name, so...
どうした？もしかして総当たりで来ただけ？だったら興ざめだな。
I think hard and recall Heathcliff, the vengeful main character of Wuthering Heights. I look straight at this girl who was taunting me.
あなたの名前は
Well, Catherine is the main female character in Wuthering Heights, but her name is apparently Erica. According to Guide. I did not figure this out on my own. Okay, I guess we're just going to the party now. You can see the party is in full swing. Everyone in class has gathered around the stars of the party under the gazebo. I let out a small breath at the fact that the party hasn't come to an end yet.
さっさと行こう。私たちの分のケーキがなくなってしまいそうだからね。
I push the darling girl in the wheelchair along toward the lively gazebo. All at once, the crowd goes quiet. They're not looking at me, but at the girl in the wheelchair. They're clearly brimming with curiosity and unable to keep it bottled up inside.
その子って誰なの、スオちゃん?
Ichigo, one of the stars of the party, asks, and the girl in question gives her usual crafty cat-like smile.
途中編入のクラスメイトだよ、お嬢ちゃん。
Her tone is arrogant, but Ichigo doesn't seem to care and looks her new classmate up and down with great interest.
足が不自由なのがそんなに珍しいかい?
Even Ichigo realizes this is a sensitive topic and sticks her tongue out along with an apology. Then...
新しい旧友の方? 途中編入なんて聞いていないけど。
Rika, the hostess of the party, jumps in, her question aimed more at me than the girl.
私もしばらく出てくるつもりはなかったんだけどね。彼女から
She narrows her large eyes as she glances at me.
お友達への誤解を解いてほしいって頼まれたから、間違いだと分かってても来たのさ。誤解って？どうも本を執刑していたのが委員長だと誤解されてたらしくてね。犯人の私が名乗り出に来たんだよ。
The mood, which had been dangerous yet calm, now fills with tension at these words.
どういうことなの、白羽さん。
彼女の言った通りです。無断で借りていた本を花火師さんのベッドに置いていたのは彼女。
Yaigaki's mouth curls up like a cat's as she nods her affirmation.
あの子がしたことだったのか。
Ringo's voice echoes throughout the silent gazebo, sparking whispers from the class.
ちょっと待って。なんでそもそも私のベッドに置いたの？いえ、どうして白羽さんが。どうも私も勘違いしていたみたいだ。お遊びで暗号を仕掛けておいたのを気づいたのは委員長じゃなかったのか。
She looks up at me as I hold the grips of her wheelchair, and I only now realize that I haven't yet introduced myself.
私は白羽スオ、図書委員です。ごめんなさい。初めに挨拶していなかったですね。
はあ、まあしょうがないよ。少し特殊な出会い方だったからね。だけど本に潜ませた不調に気づくなら学年トップの成績だっていう委員長だと思っていたけど、違ったようだね。
Rika's white skin turns red at the implication that she is stupid. The sidelong glance at Rika, who is trembling with rage, Mayuri, still holding her teacup, curiously asks what's going on. Ichigo, who is sitting next to her, looks guilty at having suspected Rika and whispers to her.
なんだかいろいろめんどくさいことになってるみたいだな。めんどくさいことなんてないわ。なんであんな誤解を受けるような真似をしたのかって聞いているの。理由は簡単さ。まだ編入前で貸し出しカードが使えなかったからちょいと拝借したのさ。
Oh, so she is a new student.
返すのをあんた委員長のベッドに置いたのは足がこれだから億劫になったってことかな。そんな自分勝手な。
Being a stickler for the rules, Rika probably wants to scold her, but
どうにも言いづらいのよね。
putting aside the fact that she's in a wheelchair, there's something about this girl that begs protecting. She's got a sharp tongue, but somehow she comes off like a naughty child.
それであんたは何さんっていうの？え？委員長の名前だよ。まさか名無しじゃないだろ？はなびしりかです。
The hand on her hip, she enunciates the word clearly, like a teacher talking to an unruly student. The girl smiles.
そうか、りっかね。それじゃりっかは感謝した方がいい。彼女が友達の誤解を解いてほしいって私に頼みに来たのだから。
Rika, who had been making a fierce expression, turns and looks at me blankly. Yeah, Rika's so easy to trigger.
最初はこいつが委員長だと思っていたから自分にかかった誤解を解いてほしい
She's
んだ
such
な
a
と思っていたけど。
yeah, she's such a stickler for the rules, like the littlest things like set her off.
まさか友人の誤解を解いてくれだなんて話だったなんてね。甘くていやらしい話だ。白羽さんがまったく人のためならそう言ってほしかったよ。だったらこんな場所にのこのこ来なかったのに。
Rika falls silent, her cheeks flush scarlet, and in her stead, Ichigo asks the girl why she'd come.
白羽スオが私の名前を当てられたからさ。
名前ってどういうこと？
本に不調を隠したと言ったら、遊び半分で本を置いた相手が私だって分かるように潜ませておいたのさ。
I do think it's kind of unfair, like, they expect you to know, like, about the books to get the answer, so if you haven't read the books, you wouldn't really know the answer. Wow, Ichigo says, her eyes glittering. The girl in the wheelchair, on the other hand, looks annoyed. Encouraged by Mayuri, who is listening with great interest, I start to speak.
花火さんのベッドに置かれていた紛失していた本、全部で10冊あったのだけど、紛失していた本の冊数は9冊だったの。どういうこと？つまりそのうちの1冊は八重垣さんの私物だった。なぜ私物を紛れ込ませたのか考えていた時、ある出来事があって。
The thing that led me to see it.
私は紛れ込ませた私物の1冊が疑問を紐解いてくれると考えたの。
I take a sidelong glance at the girl who is watching the events unfold with a grim and continue.
花火さんのベッドに置かれていた図書は上から嵐が丘、ユダの福音書、そして紛れ込ませた彼女の私物、マグダラのマリアの生涯、とある出来事から物事の側面を見てみようと考えたら、あることが分かったの。随分と読む図書の幅が広いなとしか思えないんだけど。
She says with a giggle, earning her a warning glare. It's from Rika. Seeing that she's back on form, I rush on.
私も初めは自分と同じ処置だとしか思わなかったわ。でも彼女が紛れ込ませた一冊は何なんだろうって考えて、それで思いついたの。ああ、ここまで偶然が続いたなら乗っかるために出すしかなかったんだなって。乗っかるって何？なんでそんな面倒なことを。これは見方を変えれば簡単な連想ゲームなの。さっきあげた本から共通するものを取り出せばいい。私はこのタイトルの羅列から花言葉が潜んでいると分かったの。
The whole class seems stumped by my words. Many of them love flowers, but it seems they didn't know about this.
一番上の嵐が丘を除いてユダの福音書。
I've never read any of those books, which I don't particularly care to, because they're all religious texts, and I don't find any of that interesting. But I have read Wuthering Heights.
私たちの名前だったのよ。私のスオという名の花は、西洋種はユダツリーと呼ばれている。
Oh!
キリストを裏切った弟子ユダがこの木で首を吊ったという伝説にちなんでね。
Well, I only would have known that had I known, like, how her name translates, you know, in the Japanese version.
これがユダの福音書。
It's not a particularly pleasant name. I don't want to think my father knew about this when he named me, though. Yeah, the execution definitely could have been better, for sure. But she's definitely smart, for sure, yeah.
次の家紋を探る和のデザインは家紋の専門書。花火師さんの聖にある花火師草という花は家紋の花火師紋に似ているところから付けられたそうよ。
Rika nods, seeming convinced. And she makes a bitter face, perhaps because it's now clear that Yaigaki had only been pretending not to know her name.
そしてマグダラのマリアの生涯はマユリさんにかかっている。ユリという花はキリスト教圏では聖母マリアの花、マドンナリリーとして崇められているの。
Oh! Yuri also means lily. I did not know that. Okay, that makes so much sense. There is a manga series, gosh, what is it called? It has Lily. It's called, Kiss and White... I think it's called Kiss and White Lily for My Dearest Girl. And I've read the whole series, and it is gorgeous. But I didn't realize that Yuri translates to Lily. That makes so much sense now. Okay, I got you. Strictly speaking, the Virgin Mother and Mary Magdalene are two different people, but... I look at Yaigaki. She is silently watching the events unfold. See, I don't understand all these translations because obviously I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know how all the names translate. As she smiles, I announce her name to everyone. Yep, Heath is Heather. What? It is? All these translations make no sense in my brain. Okay. Why is the Japanese word for Heather Erica? That makes no sense. That's a Christian name, isn't it? What? Please hold. Please hold. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. But yes, Heath and Heather is definitely a thing, which is why I'm naming my dark male twin Heath. So. The room goes completely silent. There are no jokes or whispered words, just silence. Then, out of the blue, both of the Sasaki twins start clapping, huge smile on their faces. None of that makes a lick of sense to me. But I learned that Yuri is Lily, translates to Lily, and that means a lot to me. Because there's a lot of, like, symbolism in Yuri, like, manga and games, with lilies, and it makes sense a lot more to me now. Okay, Astro, thanks for coming to stream. I'll see you later. Have a good day. The two of them bow their heads, making Rika flail her arms. The tension in the room dissolves and the previous harmonious mood returns. I will do my best. I nod vaguely, looking at Yaigaki sulking in her wheelchair. When her eyes meet mine, she lets out a big sigh. She moves her wheelchair over to Rika to have a word or two, but so many people are talking, so I can't hear what she says. Rika's expression is strained, but I'm sure Yaigaki has gone to apologize. When she returns, Yaigaki's expression is not her usual defiant, cat-like look, but one of more appropriate to her age. She tells me. I shoot Mayuri a look as I grip the handles of her wheelchair. I think I should get this new girl some cake. Nice. And that's a lily there in the picture. This is a lily too, I think, right here. Let me save real quick. I am filled with a feeling of joy as I look up at the dim ceiling. I cleared up the misunderstanding at the Sasaki's birthday party, and now people were flocking to Rika as usual. Although I'm a little sad that I may have fewer opportunities to interact with her, I like seeing Rika be the popular class president. Plus, I clutch at the downy, weightless comforter and bask in the feeling. Mayuri, who did not know about the false suspicions, told me how wonderful it was that I had found the true culprit. Of course, I didn't do it for the praise, but to be spoken of so highly by someone I admire. I break into a beaming smile. If anyone could see me, I bet I would look like an idiot. But no one will. A hesitant voice whispers in my ear, and I almost let out a shriek. I hurriedly cover my own mouth to stifle my voice and look towards the figure peering at me from the ladder. I freeze when I see her serious expression, my mind going blank at all the possibilities. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. She nods meekly and asks if she can get in with me. I can't refuse. Her timid expression relaxes and she dives into my bed. Oh, we get both of them in the same route. Okay. Suo's playing. Her whisper in my ear tickles. It's a single bed, and no matter how slim we are, two people are a tight fit. Rika is leaning toward me, and her arms and chest are brushing lightly against my body. Touching me ever so slightly, I never thought I'd be so aware of it. Seeing her fiddle with her braids bashfully, I hesitate over how to express myself humbly. It's like we've passed some threshold, and she squeezes my hand. The heat of her palm tickles me, and I feel warmed to my core. We giggle. I'd seen the interaction between Rika and Yaigaki, but the other girl still seemed like she'd be a handful. But it had seemed to me a bit like a bratty child being scolded by her overbearing mother, and so perhaps the friendship might just work. Rika puffs out her cheeks adorably, and I tell her how to drink Russian tea. What's Russian tea? I do a thing like that. I take there are tea biscuits, which are like cookies here in, you know, North America, but over in England they're called biscuits. But you can buy them at the store, and I put like a strawberry. Usually strawberry is my preference, but grape jam tastes good too. And you just take like a spoonful of jam and you put it on the tea biscuit and you eat it while you're drinking your tea. It's so good.
ぜひ。でも八重垣さんから教わったなら、もしかしてからかわれているのかもしれないわね。
I nod, thinking how it is entirely possible. We're about to burst out laughing, but we bury our faces in the comforter to stifle it.
今日は本当にいい日だわ。こんな風に白羽さんとお話ができるだなんて。
I'm the one who should feel that way, I think, but I'm too embarrassed to say so. Then the warmth of her smile fades and she gives me a serious look.
ねえ、白羽さん。助けてもらった私が言うことじゃないかもしれないけど、一つ頼みを聞いてくれないかしら。ええ、構わないわ。あのね、私もっと白羽さんと仲良くなりたいの。だから今お互いに敬語で喋っているでしょ。それをやめたいなって。
At first, I don't even understand what she is saying.
すぐには難しいってわかるわ。だからまずは私は白羽さんじゃなくスオさんって呼ぼうと思う。だから白羽さんは私をリッカって呼んでほしいの。
Not only her cheeks, but her whole face goes red. And I say,
リッカさん。
my face goes red too, as I deliberately call my amitié partner by her first name for the first time.
It was 出会いの年だった。生涯を通してのたくさんの友と出会うことになったが、その中でも得意と思われる人物2人と出会うことになる。1人は禁止の髪のペシミスト、1人は銀糸の髪のオプティミスト。品性、性質、天品、何もかも違って見えていても、鏡に映ったいびつな心は同じ像を映していた。金と銀、彼女たちの出会いは2回だ。
Council of Nikaya. What is that? These are new characters they're talking about. Because I've not met them yet, but I've seen pictures of them. I'm gonna save again, because we've hit chapter 3 now. Care for some more? A restrained voice asks.
ありがとう。
I hold my empty cup out to her.
今度はロシアンティーにしてみる？そうね。それじゃあそうしようかな。
Oh, I'm excited then. I heard they're well, I've seen pictures of them and they're a couple, right? My amitié partner, who has become much easier to talk to ever since that birthday party, nods and pours me some strongly fragrant tea. Then she spoons some strawberry jam into the teacup and stirs. Oh, they're mixing the jam in the tea. Interesting. That's not what I was getting from that conversation. Okay, So I'll have to try that. That actually sounds really interesting.
あれはあれで美味しかったですけどね。
Yagaki showed me her method for making Russian tea 6 days ago. Seems she'd been pulling my leg after all. The correct way to make Russian tea is to stir the jam into the cup, not to lick the jam while drinking the tea, but...
お行儀は悪かったけど、なかなかない体験ができてよかったわ。
Recalling how the two of us licked the jam as we drank the tea, I giggle. I take the cup she passes over to me and have a sip. I feel that this Russian tea, with its sweet strawberry aroma, is better than usual.
内緒だから美味しく感じるのかしら。
I need to try that. I really do. I actually have some strawberry jam. So I need to take, I guess, like a black tea, like a plain black tea, and stir it in there. That sounds delicious. Just as I think this,
私も
Ringo, having joined the night tea party, gazes at us with sleepy eyes as she presents her cup.
あ、それなら私も。
いちごねは共食いになるからよした方がいい。
A cannibal.
それを言うならリンゴはアップルティー飲んでるじゃんか。
Rika looks at the boisterous twins with a troubled expression, then prepares them some tea. In contrast, Mayuri interrupts them by shoving some homemade cookies into their mouths.
静かに。夜こっそりお茶会してるなんてバレたらまずいだろ。
That night, that's right, after the birthday party. Although Rika and the twins had made up, Rika was overly serious and unable to snap out of it easily. I proposed a night tea party with the Sasaki twins out of concern for her. Always a stickler for the rules, Rika rejected the idea at first. After I explained it all, though, she begrudgingly agreed. Obviously, I had to ask Mayuri since we would be using the room. She agreed with an easy, why not? And this is now the third time we've held a night tea party. However...
どうぞ。リンゴさんにはリンゴジャムにしたわね。
Apple jam. Apple, we don't usually have an apple jam, but we do, have an apple butter, which is basically the same thing, and it's really, really good.
これで姉妹揃って共食い仲間。よし、双子は揃ってなくちゃね。
So it's okay if you both do it? Rika asks as she takes a sip of her tea. There's something motherly about the way she looks out for the twins.
これならもう心配ないみたいね。
Rika was originally afraid it'd be awkward since she'd gotten angry about breaking the rules, but now that we're at our third tea party, I feel like they're even closer than before.
私も仲良くなれたよね。
スオさんも今度は他のジャムを試してみた
Oh,
ら。
blueberry.
リンゴ以外にもアンズやブルーベリー
Blueberry
も買ってあるわ
sounds
よ。
so good. Preferably my favorite is usually blackberry. But I like, all kinds of different fruit flavors.
そうね。今度試してみるわ、リッカさん。
As we had talked about that night, we are now on a first-name basis. It won't be long until we aren't just amitié partners, but real friends.
そういえば部の先輩に聞いたんだけど、今度オリエンテーリングがあるんだってね。オリエンテーリングって？
I cock my head at this word, which I have obviously never heard before. Ichigo blinks with surprise and makes exaggerated gestures, asking if I really don't know.
え、だってほら、小学生の時とかボーイスカートの時とかにやったじゃない。
Girl Scouts? Who was in Girl Scouts? We didn't even have a Girl Scouts when I was going through elementary school.
あれ、もしかしてやってたのってうちの方だけ？
私の学校でもあったよ。校外学習の一環でクイズを交えたお遊び的なものだったけどね。白羽さんのところではやってなかったんだ。
ええ。
How can I know about this? I never really went to school.
でも意外ね。そういうのって子供の
What's
頃だけだと思ってい
orienteering?
たわ。ミッションスクールでもやるなんて。
子供の頃にやった遊びじゃなくて本格的なやつだっていう話ですよ。
本格的って？なんでもちゃんとした競技としてオリエンテーリングをやるんだって。地図とコンパスを持ってチェックポイントをたどりながらどれだけ早く走破できるか競うっていうスポーツみたいな感じらしいよ。
I've never heard of whatever they're talking about ever in my life.
ちゃんと競技としてあるのね。
I've never done it, so I can't quite imagine how one would compete at it. If we're just competing for the best time, it sounds essentially the same as a marathon to me.
確かちゃんとした競技としてのオリエンテーリングはチェックポイントからゴールまでの地図読みやどう向かった方が効率的に行えるかのナビゲーション技術も必要なんだ。ただのレクリエーションじゃないんだよ。
Her explanation fills in the blanks for me. It isn't just a race. If we have to use the map to navigate checkpoints, then it's also a battle of wits.
なんだか面白そうですね。学院周りの森を使ったオリエンテーリングらしいけどね。全校生徒参加だけど実はちょっと困ってるんだよね。困ってるって？オリエンテーリングなんだけど3人1組の参加みたいなんだよ。私たちと組んでくれるノリのいいもう一人が見つからなくて。
2人の調子に合わせるのは難しいだろうけど頼みっていうのは。
だから最近仲良くなった人に頼みたいんだ。なので
At the word recently, Rika braces herself.
スオちゃんに一緒に回ってもらえないかと思ったのです。
Huh? Me? I don't think I raised my voice. I'm touched and happy they're asking me, but...
3人1組って言っていたし。
Yeah, isn't she supposed to be with her partners? Surely it would make the most sense to be in a group with my amitié partners. Ichigo leans in towards me earnestly. Well, Ringo looks at me with large, teary eyes.
わかりました。一緒に行動しましょう。
Do they not have another amitié partner? Like, they're, together most of the time, but... I say.
本当に？折り得てくれるの？
I've never heard the word orienteer in my entire life. So apparently it's basically just navigating the nature and stuff. She has a strange way of shortening the word and I feel slightly pressured, but I nod and say yes.
ちょっと待って。さっきも話していたけど、3人1組でしょ?
I guess because where I went to school, it was a really small school, so we didn't have, Girl Scouts or anything, and we also didn't have, camping trips and stuff. So, when I went camping, it was always just with my family, and we just kind of did whatever the hell we wanted, So we didn't have any of these, you had to, events and stuff where you had to go on, scavenger hunts or finding these, navigating and finding these things or whatever. It was always just whatever you want to do. So I guess that's why that word is not familiar to me.
なら、アミティエ同士で組んだ方がいいわ。私もスオーさんと。
I did not get the experience of a normal school kid, I guess. So I guess I'm a little like Suo in that respect. Even though I did go to school my entire life, I ask, but her cheeks flush and she averts her gaze.
初々しいですな。これが見られただけでもよしとしよう。
Seeing them nod at each other, Mayuri grins wryly.
そこまでにしとこうか。立花もさっき言ったけど、3人1組だろ？だったら1年生はみんなアミティエ同士で出るんじゃないか。省かれたら2人のアミティエがかわいそうだろ。
Yeah, who is their amitié partner?
そうよ、そうだわ。冗談だよ。初めからアミティエ同士で組もうと思っていたって。でも
スオちゃんとの友情を図りたくなった乙女心を分かってほしいな。私たちを優先して嬉しかった。
The Saki twins say with mischievous smiles.
そういえばさっき部の先輩がって言っていたけど、二人は部に入っているの？
あれ、話してなかったっけ？りっちゃんさんには話していたと思う。え、私も聞いてないと思う。忘れていたならごめんね、リンゴさん。大丈夫、冗談だもの。え、もう。
Seeing the two of them joking around makes me realize how close they've become. I feel happy for them, but also a little left out.
それでいちごさんとりんごさんは何部に入っているの？
確か学院の部って3つしかなかった気がする。
学院公認の正式な部は合唱部と文芸部、それと天文部ね。どれも2人からはイメージしづらいけど。
I would do literary arts and astronomy, but I would never join the choir.
ひどいな。2人とも天文少女なんだよ。夜な夜な星の光を求めて望遠鏡を覗いているんだ。素敵ですね。
いや、この流れは冗談だよ。実際は何の部活なんだ？
もう通用しないか。私たちはね、なんと2人とも料理部に入っているんだ。
料理部って、学院には3つの部だけって今さっき言ってたじゃないか。さすがにもう担がれないよ。
これは冗談じゃないんだけど。
もしかして入部しているっていうのも嘘だったり？
信用してくれないよ。これが狼少年現象。
Seeing them half in tears, I quickly intervene and tell my métier partner something I had heard earlier.
いちごさんたちが言っていることは本当なの？学院公認の部は確かに3つなのだけど、学生からどうしてもって申請があって、料理部、手芸部、美術部は部として認められているらしいの。
Interesting. Ooh, craft and art clubs sound good too.
そうなの？
図書委員で美術部に所属している先輩から部の用事で何度か曜日を変わったりしているから。
なるほど。白羽さんが言うなら間違いないな。
でも佐々木さんたちが料理部に入っているなんて意外だわ。そう？お料理のできる女の子って可愛くない？
I mean, I definitely appreciate a girl who can cook, for sure, because I'm really not that great at it. I try, sometimes, to make new things, but
そうかもしれな
I
いけど、
definitely need more practice,
女
that's
子校
for
で可
sure.
愛さを誰にアピールするんだよ。
先生とか？
Ooh. Everyone is clearly thinking of Sister Basquiat, who seems unable to resist cute things. I mean, I too would try to impress Sister Basquiat, because damn that woman. She is smoking.
本当は部で作った料理を食べられるのが一番なんだけどね。そんなことだろうとは思っていたわ。
We all have a laugh, then sleepy-eyed Ringo sitting next to me takes my hand.
それで、スオちゃんは何部に入っているの？
Yeah, she's not in one yet. With her drowsy gaze fixed on me, I'm unsure what to say.
もしかして冗談を返すのを期待されているのかしら？
I look in her eyes and make up my mind.
その文芸部に。文芸部、すっごく似合うね。
That's what I was gonna say. It's like a perfect fit for her. I would either be in that one or the astronomy club sounds really cool too.
確かに、もともと図書委員だから当たり前か。
Literary arts would fit me more, definitely more, but I like astronomy. I like learning about it. What I'd probably do is take, like, if I was, you know, had this chance in high school or whatever, I would, like, take an astronomy class and that I would do the literary arts as the club. So that way I could get both. But
嘘でしょとか言ってくれないの？そんな、私たちアミティにも相談してくれないなんて。
いや、仕方ないよ。私たちだって個人的なことを全部明かしているわけじゃないんだし。
わかるわ。わかるけど。
I quickly flap my hand and tell Rika, who's looking at me a little like a little sad, rain-drenched puppy, that it's not true.
冗談よ。文芸部に入ったというのは嘘。佐々木さんたちがやっていたから、私も冗談を言った方がいいのか。
It's too believable, though. It's not a joke.
そうなの？なら、スオンさんは私へ黙って部活に入っていないのね。
She puts a hand to her chest and breathes a thank goodness, and I wonder why she's so relieved about it.
白羽さんでも冗談を言うのか。ちょっとびっくりしたな。まあ、私たちは忙しいし。
Yeah, who has time for clubs? Like, not only are they like in school, you know, full time, learning completely new things, but they have to like practice for ballet and study, and like suddenly, you know, they're supposed to have time for a club too. Like, my God.
本当に入ってないんだ。ちょっとそれってまずいよ。なんでよ。クラスで何かしらの委員をしている人は忙しくて入ってない子もいるけど、委員にも部にも入ってない子なんていないよ。私は学級委員だし。
And I'm on the library council.
なんだよ。そんなかわいそうな目で私を見るな。
このままだとゆりちゃんはニートになってしまう。
A neat. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being like a gamer, man. Come on.
ならんわ。でも委員でない子は全員入ってるって冗談だろ。
害のない冗談は言うけど、こんなことで嘘は言わないよ。ゆりはクラスに友達が多いからまだいいけどさ。
Oh, I just got that translation. Her name is Mayuri, which is where the Lily translation came from. My brain is an idiot. I was thinking of her name like all together, not separating it. I was like, how did she get Lily out of her name? And then I was like, wait a minute. It shows you how bad my brain has been lately. This is why I can't get any writing done, guys. My brain cannot comprehend anything. It's so terrible.
そうだったのか。いつの間にか取り残されているなんて。
Mayuri seems a bit shocked. Mayuri gets along with everyone in class, so I don't think she needs to worry about that. The one who ought to join a club to make friends is me. I really wish I would have had that experience in school. That is one thing, like, we didn't have a lot of clubs in school. Like, there was maybe, like, 5 clubs, and most of them were, like, sports, and I didn't like sports. Like, so, like, we didn't have, like, different clubs to join to make friends over, you know, interests and stuff. It was all just, you know, basically go to school, go home. Go to school, go home. Like, I didn't get the full experience like these guys do, I guess.
ねえ、よかったら明日の放課後、3人で部活動を見学しに行ってみない？
Part of me kind of wishes I would have, like, pushed, you know, to make a club myself or something. Like a literary club or a book club or something. I feel like that would have been a really good experience for me. But, I was also, taking Taekwondo at the time, so I was also really busy in high school as well, because I think I started by sophomore year? So, like, I would get home, and then I would go to practice, and come home, and then I'd go to school, I'd go to practice, and I'd come home. Like, it was exhausting. So I was basically already in a club, but it was outside of school. And then in middle school, I was in softball.
別に見学しに行ったら絶対に入らなくちゃいけないってものでもないわ。それにせっかく入学したのだもの、何か部活をやってみたいって気持ちもあるし。
そうですね、いいかも。
ほう、アミティエが私を気遣ってくれた。
But it wasn't like a kind of like the clubs I was in, it wasn't really clubs that you could make friends in. You know, like we were like you were like with other people, but like nobody really made like lasting friendships there. Like you just kind of talked while you were there and then you'd go home. And then like but it's other clubs like book clubs and other things like in a different kind of environment where you really make those close friendships. At least to me, like, I didn't fit in, I guess, like, to those clubs I was in. So...
そうね、感謝しなさい。
Excited by the playful exchange between the two of them, the twins lean in eagerly.
それじゃあ明日うちの料理部にも来てよ。面白い先輩も紹介するからさ。
いちごさんが面白いっていう先輩か。
私としてもお墨付き。
And there's like a literary club in college which I technically like was a part of, and if I joined back in I'd still be a part of, but like they don't do anything. Like we would go to the literary fest like once a year every year and that's it. So we would basically like do a small fundraiser, go to the lit fest, and then that was it. Because no one else, like, had the time to do anything else. Because everybody was working, going to college, like, doing homework, you know. No one had time. Which is sad. But I feel a bit nervous when Ringo gives a thumbs up. Something about an upperclassman I never met before is terrifying. But, like, if I could just go to college, like, just go to college, not have to worry about, you know, paying for, like, so much money and working at the same time, then I would go to college and, like, actually probably join a club, you know? Because I'd have the time then to join a club. But I can't. I have to work and do college at the same time, and it's so hard. Club activities. The old me never could have done this. This is progress. But I've always wanted that experience, you know, of being in a small, like, club with a group of people and just sharing, you know, the love of literature or, like, writing or something like that. Unable to stop the smile from spreading across my face, I look down and stuff a spoonful of leftover apple jam from the Russian tea into my mouth. That sounds so good. I have to try that. The Russian tea. That sounds lovely. The next day after class. The three of us, as promised, arrive at the floor with the club rooms and step inside. We chat about what we see while making our way through the building for the first time, and at last we arrive at a door whose placard reads, Cooking Research Association. I just figured it was a chatty, laid-back club where enjoying yourself was more important than cooking, but...
これは
思っていたよりもちゃんとした料理部だね。
With aprons over their uniforms and serious expressions on their faces, the students are all working diligently. There are 7 members in total. One is skillfully using a knife to cut vegetables, and another rhythmically stir-fry something. A spicy scent wafts through the air and tempts our group, who have all grown hungry after class. Ugh, I can't do spicy. Ichigo whips off her apron and, after trotting over, takes Mayuri's hand.
やっぱり切羽詰まってる人は違うね。
そのネタまだ引っ張るつもり？
あ、リンゴさん。
Ringo also strolls our way as she rolls up her apron.
リンゴ、先輩に許可取ってきて。了解。
She gives a thumbs up and goes to speak with a short-haired student. I imagine she must be the one in charge. With the walk still in her hand, the upperclassman smiles at us after hearing Ringo's request. I say, and all three of us bow our heads.
面白い先輩ってあの人？
違う。桜木先輩はこの部の両親。紹介したいっていう先輩は今日は来ていないんだ。掛け持ちでやっているからそっちと被ると怒られないんだよ。そうなの。
Hearing that the upperclassman with the Sasaki seal of approval is not here, I feel both relief and disappointment.
失礼だけど真珠を見逃したような。
A rare beast? What does that mean? A rare beast. We're not playing Monster Hunter, Suo. What?
でもすごく本格的なのね。部活だと言っていたからもっと軽い感じだと思っていたわ。
実は私的にも入部するまではそう思ってたんだよね。おばあちゃんが料理教室をやっててお友達とのお話がメインだったからここもそうなのかってさ。美味しいお菓子を食べ放題だと思っていた。
All you can eat sweets. That's a baking club, not a cooking club, which I guess you could do both.
本格的な調理法が学べそうね。
今月は中華月間。
Ooh.
お菓子作りはまだまだ先なので。
I like some Chinese food.
そうなの。お菓子作りもするならまゆりさんも入部してみたら？
お菓子作りだけならレシピを増やすために入ってもいいけど。
She looks at the upperclassman cooking away.
料理はここで言うことじゃないかもだけど、あまり興味がなくて。
Yeah, it's really interesting because, like, bakers tend to not be good cookers, and then good cookers tend to not be good bakers. Like, I'm much better at cooking than I am at baking. Like, I tend to burn everything when I bake, but when I cook things, they usually turn out okay.
そうなの？お菓子作りとそう
It's completely different.
お菓子作りは作ったものを自分で食べるからいいけど、和食洋食は自分一人のために作るのはなんというか面倒というか。
お菓子も自分で食べるって言ってるのに？
Mayuri scratches her head, unable to convey her meaning. Seeing her struggling to express herself,
私なんとなくわかるわ。
I say,
どういうことかね、スオちゃん。私は祖父と二人きりだったから料理は私が作っていたんだけど、一人の時はなんとなく作る気がしない。
yeah, I get that too. Like, usually me and my mom, like, my mom makes her own meals. Like, I live with her, but she makes her own meals and stuff. Sometimes she'll make stuff for both of us, but usually she just makes stuff for her. Like, she does meal prep and stuff. And then I'll make my own stuff. And, like, I hate making my own food. Like, it's just boring. But if you're cooking for, like, 2 or 3 people, you know, or more, it doesn't feel as less of a chore because it's like, you know, more people will be eating it. So it's like, you're not just like doing all this effort just for yourself. Like,
一人だと簡単なもので済ませてしまう。
yeah, and you tend to make things that are easier if it's just you eating it.
ああ、そう。その感覚に近いかもしれない。
Mayuri takes my hand and nods, and I look down to hide my blushing.
確かに誰かに振る舞おうと思えば頑張って凝った料理も作るものね。でもこの場合料理を学ぶのは
まだ見ぬ旦那様のための練習じゃないかな。
I don't think any of these girls are gonna have husbands. This remark is so unlike Ichigo, and we react with rather unfeminine astonishment. The other club members seem somewhat embarrassed too.
花嫁修行の一環としてね。それならわかるわ。
Rika's watching the upperclassmen cook as though she gets it now. I look at Mayuri, who seems to have a hint of lowliness in her eyes, as she stares down at her hands. Oh, so sorry I'm yawning. I am tired. I just got up like an hour or 2 ago, so...
で、どう？入部してみる？
そうね。
今なら入会金無料だよ。
The entry fee?
そ それは魅力的だけど、見に来た部活動はここが初めなの。
Having gently turned the twins down, she turns her attention towards us.
長々いるのもご迷惑だし、それじゃあおいとましましょうか。
After leaving the cooking club,
料理部も驚いたけど、
手芸部もかなり真剣に活動しているのね。驚いたわ。
I look at Mayuri, who seems to have a hint of loneliness in her eyes as she stares down at her hands.
手芸部ってマフラーだとかテーブルクロスとかを作るだけかと思っていたけど、
人形まででしょ。まさか個人がぬいぐるみを編み物で作れるなんてびっくり
Well,
したよ。
how else do you think they get made? Like, they used to be made by hand, you know, before they had machines and stuff. I was also genuinely surprised to see them using hooked crocheting needles to make teddy bears. Out of concern, I call out to Rika, who is folding her arms and knitting her brows.
やっぱり無理よね。無理って？
もともと手芸には興味があったんだけど、あんなに複雑なものだと思っていなくて、マフラーやセーターくらいなら編めるかと思ったんだけど。
Sewing is really hard. I've only ever sewed like one thing in my life. We had to make this pillow when I was in a home ec class, and I made like a huge long body pillow, which was a terrible mistake. But like it was so hard, and I ended up running out of stuffing. Like we ran out completely, so like my pillow ended up really lumpy, and it was sad. But yeah, sewing is not my thing.
体験入部でやらせてもらった時、編み棒をセーターに突き刺してたものね。
Rika was clumsy with the needles, much to my surprise, and despite her best efforts, there was no way she'd be able to make something as complex as lace. She couldn't even spool knit, which is something even children can do. She just tangled the yarn into balls.
憧れと現実は違うのね。私、向いてないんだわ。
And there's nothing wrong with that. Rika slumps her shoulders, and I say, "Let's go see another club."
まあ人それぞれだし。
You just gotta find what works for you, you know? You don't have to be good at these things. Rika just stares into my eyes as she takes in these words.
スオさんにもアンにダメだって
That's
言わ
not
れ
what
たわ。
I said!
そんなこと。
I hold my face in my hands and cringe.
白羽さんは気を使ってくれたんじゃないか。趣味と仕事は分けた方がいいとも言うし。
まゆりさんもダメだって言うのね。
いや、それはまあ。
Maybe she's remembered the tangled balls of yarn everywhere, as Mayuri is at a rare loss for words at Rika's remark and tries to cover it up with a vague smile.
でもとりあえずは様子見でいいんじゃない？結構お金かかるみたいだったし。
I nod. I didn't ask at the cooking club, but I suppose the monthly fee would be quite costly. Although this academy has many wealthy students, there's an allowance on how much money can be sent from home, so we have to be careful what we spent on.
そうね。お茶会で振る舞う茶葉のこともあるし。
お菓子は私が作っていったり、みんなから徴収して買ったりしてるけど、紅茶は委員長の善意だものな。
Discussion has suddenly taken a serious turn.
立夏じゃないけど、他のもいろいろ見て決めればいい。私としては次は美術部を見学したいな。
そうね。他の部も見に行きましょうか。
What are you drinking, Note? Rika smiles at last, and Mayuri takes her by the hand and heads to the next room. We are at the art club longer than at the craft club.
どうだった？
Blah, coffee. Blah. I can't do coffee. It's so bitter. Like, it's just not for me. Rika asks Mayuri, who had been listening intently at the club, and she twirls her hair.
入部してみようかなとは思う だけど。
I suppose I'll always be a kid at heart because I can't do anything too spicy and I can't do anything like too bitter. So I have to go with either sweet or savory or salty. She answers evasively.
何か引っかかることがあったの？
But
活動内容が甘いだ
making
ったとか？
coffee to me is harder than making tea. I don't know. But I either just use tea bags or like I take the loose leaf tea and I put it in the little like, I don't know what they're called, but the little like tea balls, and then you put it in like, and you just boil some water, you know, on the kettle and just pour it in. It's not, it depends on how much tea you're making, I guess, how hard it is.
先輩がどうだとか、油絵だけがやりたいから石膏はしたくないとか、そういう理由じゃなくて。
She holds back and we lean in towards her.
やっぱりお金がきついんだよ。
Her shoulders slump.
まあ自分用のイーゼルだとか。
Oh, you have to buy your own, yeah, equipment.
素人目から見ても入り用だものね。
Art stuff is expensive.
他に使うところがなければ美術部もいいんだけど、趣味でお菓子作りもしてるしな。あ、
That's true. I watch as Mayuri puts her chin in her hand and gazes out the window in a manly fashion. Money, I need it, but it's not important to me. I recall a line from the movie I saw a long time ago, Night on Earth. I've never seen that.
真逆の意味で思い出したんだけどね。何か言った？スオさん。
もしかして妙案が？
Feeling the pressure of Mayuri's sharp gaze, I hurriedly changed the subject.
そういえば体験入部の説明の中でラフモデルをやっていると聞いて驚いたわ。あれって専門の学校でなくてもやっているんですね。
I stated this out of desperation, but for some reason the two looked somewhat impressed.
白羽さんからその話題を振ってくるとは思わなかったな。
うん。言うなら絶対まゆりさんだと思っていたのに。
I only brought it up because it had left such a strong impression. Only now do I realize that it seems like I mentioned it because I'm interested. My entire face and neck turn red.
白羽さんの言うようにヌードデッサンまでやってるっていうのは
I mean,
驚きだったな。
sounds like a good time to me,
で
but
もここって人里離れてるし、モデルの人を呼ぶの大変じゃないのかな。
週に一度だって話してたけど、そう考えるとおかしいわね。もしかして先生、生徒同士で順番ずつモデルになっているんじゃないかしら。
生徒がヌードデッサンのモデルに？
Mayuri asks, astonished, and I immediately think back to the scenes of the dormitory baths.
集中できるわけないじゃない。
I know, right?
でも学院の立地を考えたらあり得る話なのか。
Mayuri gazes out the window as her decision whether to join grows more complicated. Then, with a smile like Yaigaki, she turns and questions me.
私が入部したら白羽さんも入ってくれる？
Only if you do. My amitié partner has invited me.
高坂さんも入部するなら。
I answer.
え？
おかしなことを言ったかしら。正気なの、スオさん。今の質問の意図はまゆりさんもそうだけど、スオさんもヌードデッサンのモデルをやってみんなに書かれるっていうことなのよ。
That's not what it sounded like she was asking at all.
やった、これで踏ん切りがついたよ。白羽さんみたいな美人の裸が
Hell
鑑賞
yeah.
できるなら部費も安いってものだ。
Hell yeah, Mayuri, get some!
あなたね。
お風呂場でも恥ずかしがって一緒に入ってくれないだろ。
That's not what I
美
said!
術のためなら一肌脱ぐって言うんだ。立花もどう？入部する価値あるんじゃないの？
私は。
I wave my arms and say no way to Rika, who is giving me an impassioned look.
よく考えないで答えてしまって、みんなの前で裸になるなんて無理です。
To get naked in front of Mayuri with her enviously beautiful pale skin would be psychological torture. I'd never be able to look at myself in a mirror again.
白羽さんが貧相ならクラスのみんなそうになるよ。佐々木さんとか幼児になっちゃうし。スオさんのスタイルと比べるのはさすがに酷よ。私だって水着とか体の線がわかる格好でなら隣に立ちたくないわ。隣に？あ、違うの。嫌いだとかの意味じゃなくて。もう、まゆりさんが言い出したことなんだから収集つけなさいよ。
Mayuri smiles at the annoyed Rika, the way Yaigaki does.
そうだね。これくらいにしておくか。それじゃあ次は文芸部でも行ってみようか。白羽さんが好きそうだしね。
It seems like she's put an end to the discussion over whether we'll join the art club or not. I put my hand to my chest to help calm my palpitations, and nod. We take a look at the Literary Arts Club and the Astronomy Club, two of the official clubs of the Academy. Then, as we're on our way to the final official club, the choir, I have a terrible premonition. I am about to remember her. Of course, a choir would have it. I hadn't realized it until now, but a place where people sing would surely have one. I should be okay just seeing it. What's it? What's it? I strain every nerve not to have my amitié partners notice. There's the silver-haired beauty. Upperclassman appears suddenly and slings her arms around her shoulders, flattering us in an easy masculine tone. Such bizarre behavior that I am at a loss for words, and my previous worry dissipates into this new one. Rika starts, but then the girl spreads her arms wide and bows like a magician to greet us. She's the president of the student council. Okay.
入学式の時挨拶したから見覚えがあるんじゃないかな。あ、それと当然合唱部の部員の一人だよ。
Damn, she's gorgeous. She's also really tall. Her skin is porcelain white and her eyes are a steel blue. She runs a finger through her silvery, almost white hair, which I can tell is soft and silky. She wears her silvery hair in a ponytail that runs down her back, tied up in a big scrunchie. The clear lines of her body are womanly, but her cool gaze and manner of speaking. Unlike her looks, her behavior is androgynous, and her unexpected contrast makes my heart thump. I can't help but be captivated by her. Still...
さあ、それでは見学者の名前を聞こうじゃないか。まずは、そこのメガネちゃんからだ。はい、私は...
As I watch them exchange names, I'm dumbfounded at my first encounter with what is sometimes called a wasted beauty. She's visually captivating, and I wonder if she's a mixed race, but her words and actions, maybe it's just because it's the first time I'm meeting her, but her personality leaves something to be desired.
私は高坂まゆりです。3人はアミティエで。
高坂。ほう、コーカサスオオカブトを連想する良い名字だ。夏になったらまた遊びに来たまえ。
はあ。
それで黒髪美人の君は？白羽スオです。
スオ。ああ、どこかで聞いたことがあったような。
We exchange glances as she scratches her silver eyebrows with a slim finger, as though something were troubling her.
どうしよう。どうしたらいいの？初めて会う人種だ。一度出直した方がいいかな。
すまない。つい考えに没頭してしまった。それで3人は
合唱部の見学者ということでいいのだね。
はい。
そうか。残念ながら合唱部の部長はまだ来ていないが、まあ僕が許可を出そう。それで構わないね、君たち。
She calls to the choir members behind her. Everyone answers yes in beautiful harmony. Personally, I get the feeling they are smirking.
それでお三方は経験者なのかい？見学に来たということは。
No, we have no experience.
いえ、そういうわけではなくて、ただ3人とも部に未加入なので、いろいろと見て回っていて。
なるほど。それでは不詳この僕が
I find it odd that she's a member of the chorus club.
先輩が
I don't know why, but
譲り派と呼んでくれ。
八代先輩が説明をなさるのですか？
最近の子はシャイなんだな。普段この僕が部の活動説明などをすることはない。
we can only give vague smiles. Yatsuhiro pushes aside her silver bangs.
それでは始めよう。
She says.
とまあ大体がこんなところだが、質問はあるかい？
I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'm gonna be sad.
大丈夫です。
I take a sidelong glance at the two of them respond, still clearly overwhelmed. I can't hide my surprise either. I hadn't expected.
まさか真面目に案内するなんて。
Given what we'd seen of her already, even though she'd said she would give us a tour, we'd expected it to get derailed, and so we'd been caught completely off guard. Yes. I'm gonna keep butchering this name. Yatsushiro's tour had been witty, easy to understand, and it covered all the important points. I have a tendency to lose my concentration when hearing about something that doesn't interest me, but her explanation never bored me and left me feeling surprised and impressed.
二階屋の会の会長だものね。ただの変な人のはずはないか。
I shake my head again, thinking how rude I thought that was.
何か質問があるかい？スオ君。
いえ、
I seek backup from my amitié partners, but they avert their gazes.
話されていなかったですけど、部費はたくさんかかるのでしょうか。機材が多いようですけど。
I just go on and ask, since the cost has been the main factor stopping us from joining the clubs up until now. For some reason, what I say seems to strike a chord with Yatsuhiro. She leans in so close that she could kiss me and stares me intently.
なんでしょうか。
いや、今まで部費がどうのと聞かれたのは初めてだったからね。そういう角度の質問もあるのかと思って大いに感心したところだよ。なるほど。この学院に通っているからと省いていたが、盲点だった。
She nods, continuing to stare at me. Every time she bats her long silvery lashes, I expect to hear the flutter of a butterfly's wings. My heart also flutters as I gaze at her pure, statuesque beauty.
君、名は？
はじめにスオと。
適当でなく、きちんとフルネームで知りたくなってね。さ、このメモ帳へ名前を書いてくれたまえ。
She's still staring at me as I take the pen and write my name. Then her eyes widen and she clasps an arm around my shoulders.
スオ。スオ。花ズオか。ああ、そうだ。確かに耳にしたことがある。ユダツリーの君だったね。
なぜ私のことを。
どうしてだと思う？
So she knows Erica, I would assume. She raises a finger to her lips with a devilish smile. I search for something I might have in common with Yatsushiro.
もしかして。
なんだい？恥ずかしがらずに言ってみるといい。
双子の佐々木姉妹から聞いていたのではないですか。
She clasped my shoulder with the arm wrapped around me as though applauding.
大したものだ。なるほど。佐々木くんたちが頭が切れるというのも
So it was the twins.
そう。佐々木くんたちから君のことを聞いていたのさ。
So she's a member of the cooking club too?
ユダツリーの話で覚えていたので、名前を見るまでピンとこなかったが、ユダと知り合えて光栄だよ。
その言い方だとあまり光栄に思われていないよう
It's probably not a great name to have at a Catholic school.
それじゃ佐々木さんたちが面白い先輩を紹介すると言っていたのは
当然僕のことさ。まあ平々凡々たる僕じゃ面白いなんて形容詞は恐れ多いけどね。
いや十分面白い先輩ですよ。
Mayuri whispers from behind, and all I can do is smile wryly.
合唱部と料理部どちらも兼任していてね。
That's crazy!
こちらの方が主に
She's
や
in
っている
two
けどね。
clubs? How the fuck does she have the time?
そうだったんですか。
ああ、そうそう。それでユダ君の質問だったね。確か僕の3サイズを知りたいんだっ
Excuse me?
違います。部費の話を。
け？上から。ああ、そうだ。部費か。金銭面での心配はないよ。うちは正規の部だからね。その手当からはみ出してしまった場合だけ皆で割って払うことになっているけど、僕が入部してからこっちそんな事態になったことはないね。
部費がかからない。
Rika mutters, twirling her braids. For Rika, who pays for the tea parties herself, this is probably a serious topic.
正式な部文芸部天文部もそうなのですか？
当然文芸部は製本代くらいだし、天文部はかかる費用が高すぎて逆に生徒から徴収はしないよ。ん？うちに入る気になったか？
They bind books themselves? That sounds so cool! I would love to learn how to do that.
うん。
I would bind my own books and sell them. That sounds amazing.
ならメガネちゃんは？君は合唱ブルックスだろう。
勝手にらしい顔と言われても、でもそうですね。
She looks around at the chorus, fixating particularly on the brass instruments.
少し考えたいです。
She answers. Yatsushiro says, okay, then claps her hands together and turns her gaze to the door.
それでは勧誘は部長にしてもらうことにしよう。悔しいが人当たりは僕よりも上だからね。
Okay, so this bitch, she is the leader of the student council, the president of the student council. She's in the choir club. She's also a member of the cooking club. And wasn't she the president? No, she's not the president of the cooking club. Right, or was she? I've lost track. How does she have the time for all of this? It makes no sense in my brain. As usual, she cocks her head at words she does not understand. Yatsushiro goes to the door and waves her hands before it like a magician. But she's not the president of the choir club. Okay, Sakuragi is the president of the cooking club. Okay. The sound of a heavy door opening.
また悪ふざけをしているの？ゆずりは？
Wow, she is gorgeous. Oh my god. A girl as pretty as a fairy appears.
なのかしら？
ああ、だから君に後を頼みたいんだ。
Gold and silver. All I can do is stare at the two of them talking, feeling as though I am unfit even to be in their presence.
あなたがスオさん？
I hear her speak my name in a cool voice, and the color finally returns to my world.
ごきげんよう。私はコミカドネリネ。
Ooh,
二階屋の国
Narine. That's such a pretty
合
name.
唱部の部長をしているわ。よろしくね。
And she's the vice president of the student council. Okay. And the president of the choir. Interesting. Narine is a very pretty name. It has to do with water. Her golden hair shines under the rays of the setting sun, as though it were actually made of gold. Dyes her pale skin in a rose sheen that only serves to accentuate its whiteness. They have the same eyes, though, don't they? The gold and the silver girls. Her golden hair swaying around her hips, and her pale eyes and eyelashes give the illusion she has been dipped in gold. When she smiles, it looks just like something out of a fresco painting. Well, I guess she has more pale eyes, and then I guess the silver girl has more blue eyes. But they look the same to me. Komikado introduces herself to me and then exchanges greetings in a slow but proper way with Rika and Mayuri.
驚いたね。まさか合唱部の部長があんな美人だったなんて。二階屋の会ってハーフやクォーターじゃなくちゃ入れないのかな。
All I can do is nod slightly at her joke. With her doll-like face, her luxurious golden hair, and her celadon eyes, the only way I can describe her is unique. She seems almost too perfect to be human.
部の案内をするのね。
それは僕が済ましたよ。ネリーにはユダ君らへの勧誘を頼みたいんだ。
Calling her Judas seems like such a terrible negative thing to say.
ユダ君
I can tell from her pronunciation that she has misunderstood. I shake my head silently.
ユダツリーのことね。お誕生日会での一件は聞いているわ。スオさんは賢いのね。
Okay, now that I see them beside each other, I can see their eye colors are different.
ネリー、この敬虔な学び屋でユダなどという名を呼ぶとはけしからんな。二階屋の会の会長として苦言を呈するぞ。
You were just calling me Judas!
この人
ゆずりははいつもこうなの。あまり気にしないであげてね。
I'm not so sure about that follow-up either, but when I see Komikado's smiling eyes, it doesn't matter anymore.
失礼ですけど、コミカド先輩は二階屋の会に所属されているということはクリスチャンなのですか？
そうよ。祖父父ともにカトリックの神父なの。だから私も幼い頃に洗礼を受けたわ。
Being baptized does not make you a Christian, by the way.
そうなんですか。
Oh, hi little cat. Thank you for raiding.
コミカドの家に婿になる形でこの国にもっと競技を知ってもらおうと目を下ろしたの。祖父は戻ってしまったけどね。
ハーフなのか。
Little cat is the best, by the way. It seems she really wants to know if Komikado is half or pure Japanese. Her lapis lazuli eyes and soft golden hair glittering in the sunlight. I understand why Mayuri had to ask.
おいおい、僕にはそんな質問はしなかったじゃないか。スオ君が3サイズを聞いたくらいで。
No one asked your measurements!
あら、興味がおありになるの？
違います。部のことを聞いただけで。
そうだったかな。せっかくだ。君たちも気になっているようだから僕のことも話しておこう。祖父が英国人で父はハーフ、僕はクォーターだな。祖父の血が色濃く出たようであまり日本人らしくはないが。
Oh, she's from Tokyo.
これで
Interesting.
チャキの江戸っ子だよ。
八代先輩もクリスチャンなのですか？
一応ネリーに付き合って洗礼を受けているからそうなるだろうね。 こいつとは長い付き合いだし。
幼馴染なんですか？
Yatsuhiro nods. It seems that way, but somehow they don't go together. Just then, the lively conversation suddenly drops off. In the silence, I look at Komikado, captivated by her beautiful hair. Mayuri is the first to speak.
八代先輩は英国人とのと言いましたけれど、コミカド先輩はどこの？
そうだ。ネリーがどこの国を祖に持つか。せっかくだから謎々として出そう。ヒントは最もキリスト教徒がいる国。
The country with the most Christians.
最も？アメリカかしら？でもコミカド先輩の雰囲気からしてイギリスも捨てがたいな。
スオ君はどう思う？
はい、何がでしょう。
A red sunlight reflecting in Komikado's hair seems to set it ablaze, and I am fascinated. When called upon, I come back to my senses and turn to Yatsushiro.
聞いていなかったのかね？
すみません。
Because of my hair, which, as my grandfather would say, is blacker than a wet crow. Oh, I have an inferiority complex, and so her golden hair is an object of envy for me.
まあまあ。
I like dark hair.
それよりも部への勧誘というけれど、スオさんたちは経験者なのかしら。
She's just like, moving on.
私は経験者ではありません。
子供の頃に地区の合唱会で少しだけ。
I glance sidelong at Komikado, who is asking Rika about her experience.
話した方がいいのかしら。
I agonize over whether I should be honest and tell her I have some experience.
演奏者として経験があるというのだ。
I can see it out of the corner of my eye, and it feels as though the very air around me has grown heavier.
それで、スオさんは経験者なのかしら。
I can play a bit of piano. Questioned by those blue eyes,
少しだけ。
I answer somewhat vaguely. She raises a beautiful eyebrow and presses me further.
少しだけですか。花火師さんのように部ではなく、地区の合唱会に参加していたのですか。いえ、そうではなくて。はい。
何？言いたくなければ言わずともいいんだよ。何せスオ君は13番目の使徒だ。敬虔なカトリック信者は敵だろうからね。
譲り派。
Frowning, Komikado reins in her friend using a harsh tone of voice.
シロ先輩。
Honestly, I prefer the lighthearted teasing. Perhaps she noticed where I am looking as she draws near and takes my hand.
誰でも言いたくないことはあるものだ。口を閉ざしていいのだよ。
Her skin is as pale as her hair. I thank her, feeling a slight sense of relief from her guiding hand. Because of her warm words, I think I should be honest and reluctantly open my mouth.
母が音楽家でピアノを習っていたんです。賛美歌での演奏もしたことがあるので、少しと。それじゃあ少しだけ弾いてみてくれない？
She innocently asks. I feel the air grow even heavier as I stand before the piano, my memories of which are entwined with those of that woman.
すごい期待しているわね、スオさん。
こんな特技があるなんて大したものだね。
Piano's hard. What my métier partners are saying doesn't register in my ears.
さっさと済ませてしまう。
Can't get it over with without doing it. I do as requested and pull out the chair. I play a single note and feel the shadow of my stepmother closing in on me.
早く。
I want to play well and get this nightmare over with. I am a 7-year-old child again. Stars are brightly shining. Why is she playing a Christmas song? Dear Savior's birth. Oh my god, I've heard that song a million times. My fingers slide smoothly over the keyboard, just like back then. For reference, she's playing Oh Holy Night. I intentionally immerse myself, creating a world consisting only of me and the black and white of the keys. If I do this, I can, for a moment, forget her and that shrill voice. How beautiful. I think I hear someone whisper. I am not yet in my own world, the hateful instrument that binds me to that woman. But for now, I have no choice but to do this.
そうだ。私は。
いいね。結構だ。これだけ聞けば十分。
The voice of Yatsushiro standing beside me brings me back to this world, and I raise my head.
さやかに星はきらめき。ね。もっと聞いていたかったのに。
The only time you ever hear that song, like, here is at Christmas time, so.
すごい上手なのね、スオさん。
ああ、本当に。
Hearing the voices of my amitié partners, I finally realize it's over.
ありがとう。正確なタッチだった。なかなかの腕前だね。
I think to stand, but my legs are powerless, so I remain seated. I want to leave this place as quickly as possible.
ねえ、途中で終わってしまったけど、最後まで聞きたいわ。
She asks. Once again, I feel the shadow of that woman draw near.
そうね、もっと聞きたいわ。
違う曲とかでもいいしね。
The voices grow distant. As their voices disappear, another voice goes louder in their stead. Her reproachful tone, cold sweat breaking out. What's wrong? My mouth goes dry. You don't look so good. It's seething forth. At the nurse's office. Nauseated to the point of helplessness.
嫌だ。
Envisioning my stepmother drawing in behind me. With my arms wrapped tightly around myself, I run from that place, knocking over the chair as I go. Ouch. I feel my stepmother at my back. Faster. I run as though she is pushing me. I've got to get away from that place. But alas, no matter how far away I go, her cloud hangs over me. I feel the heat of her body on me, feel her odious breath at my ear. Am I still trapped? I was not expecting this development. I put a hand to my thumping heart and look around. Lush greenery, so lush it feels garish. I breathe in the same air which had always felt so fresh when I came here, but is now heavy with the scent of plants, making me even more nauseated.
ここは。
I ran from the piano all the way to the greenhouse. I wonder for a moment if I ran from my stepmother and chased my grandfather's shadow. Then, arms wrapped around my own powerless, sweating body, I stumble around searching for a place where no one will find me.
ダメだ。消えてくれない。
I try to judge whether this is something I can overcome. Pale and sweating, I drag myself along, deeper into the greenhouse. I find a space that can't be seen from the door and crouch down.
早く落ち着かせないと。
My amitié partners, and Yatsushiro and Komikado, they must all be worried. If I take too long resting, people might find about this thing I'm carrying. This thing. Perhaps I've thought too much, as another wave of nausea washes over me and I double over. I curl over like a turtle in its shell, willing myself to calm down. I want to stop, but all I can see is my stepmother's portrait. I guess I shouldn't have touched the piano. Just when I was thinking she had gone. The sick feeling that comes whenever I feel that woman's presence.
吐いてうずきを止めた方が。
If I throw up, this unbearable nausea will go away and I'll feel better. I know this from experience, but...
でもこれでいいの？
My voice of reason, which has nearly disappeared, asks. I came to this academy to change, but it's really okay that I am still running away from that woman, the very symbol of my lack of change. That's right. I came here because I wanted to change, so... She's separated from my father now and no longer family. Our paths will never cross. She's just another person. So... I force out the words to the specter of my stepmother that clings to my back. I hear a bewildered, questioning voice. Thinking I'm now hallucinating voices, I look up. The person I least want to see me in this condition is standing there. She is looking at me. I am looking at her. She's seeing me here on my knees, as though I am repenting. Oh boy. Rika leaves to go to the bathroom. The lively room grows silent. Mayuri sits on the bed, gazing at the bookshelf, and I sit in the chair, gazing out the dark window. She heard me beg my stepmother for forgiveness. After staring at me for a moment, she wiped the sweat from my forehead with a handkerchief. Then, offering me her shoulder to lean on, she'd taken me to the nurse's office. On our way there, while I was just being treated by the nurse, she'd said nothing. She just looked at me with an expression that was a complicated mix of sadness and happiness. Having heard we were in the nurse's office, Rika had come dashing in worriedly, along with Yatsushiro and Komikado. It seems she's not feeling well. Mayuri had told them as they looked at me lying in the bed. She told them I'd got sick during the piano performance and rushed to the bathroom. It's not a total lie, but perhaps Mayuri had been trying to protect my secret when she told them this. The president and vice president of the Council of Nikaya had bowed their heads to me and apologized for forcing me to play on. And now, it's the first time we've been alone together since she witnessed my bout of nausea that accompanies memories of my stepmother. In the short time while Rika is in the bathroom, perhaps I should say something about the greenhouse incident. Perhaps I should just stay quiet. I don't know. Should I worry her with the fact that every time I remember my stepmother, who is basically a stranger to me now, I have a panic attack? If someone told me the same thing, I would have no idea what to do other than just listen. I appreciate you telling me, but what can I do about it? That would be an entirely reasonable response. No, that's an optimistic expectation. Really, it could be far more horrible.
Shirahane-san?
Mayuri turns from the bookshelf towards me with her usual smile.
今日は冷えるね。春だというのにまだ冬を思い出すよ。寒くはない？
大丈夫よ。
そう。
I don't feel cold, but I wonder why I'm wearing sleeved nightwear.
皇室での話をしようとしているのだわ。
Mayuri turns from the bookshelf toward me with her usual smile.
白羽さん、言いたくないのなら無理に話してくれなくてもいいのだけど。はい。温室でのこと、聞こえてしまったんだ。あれは。
Her smile fades and, with sincere eyes, she asks. Perhaps I can truly be honest with her. After all, she already overheard my words to that woman. I try to talk about the nausea, but my mouth will not readily cooperate.
白羽さん、温室で。
お待たせ。ごめんなさい、待たせて。そろそろ消灯だし、寝ましょうか。
Interrupting Rika. God damn it. I was about to learn the truth.
そうだね。
さあさあベッドに行って電気を消すから。スオさん、夜中調子が悪くなったら遠慮なく起こしてね。今度は私が付き合うからね。
She beams at me and puts a kind hand on my back. I answer, lowering my gaze slightly. Oof. Okay. I hate to leave it there after such, like, tense development, but I have to go get food and do some other things before I go to work this evening. So, I'm gonna call it there. Let's stretch. Yeah, it was just getting good, too, but I've been streaming for like 2 hours, so... Let me see who I can, raid today, because there's quite a few people streaming. Hold on, yeah, I enjoyed it too. I had a lot of fun this time. Let's do... Who am I gonna raid today? Let's see. I forget who half these people are. Because I've not really, You know what? Just because I love him, I am going to raid Arata again. Alright. We're gonna raid Arata again, but thanks everybody so much for coming to stream. I really, really appreciate it. I will be playing this again next week, and I will see you all then. So see you all later. Bye!